Hello, hello. How are you? How do I make a stinging nettle? You're new. Well, being new to it, I would suggest that you use dry herbs. Um, Stinging nettle is great for a lot of things, namely, sinusitis is really good, sinus infections. Um, I have a video on it that I just posted yesterday, I think it was, maybe the day before. But you would want to use dry herbs and you'd want to use a high alcohol. Um, Anything over 80, I would say is good. Um, my go-to is 100. And you go ahead and you would follow the same process that I'm going to do here in a few minutes, just with a different herb. Your husband has really bad back pain. Well, I'm not sure what the cause is of his back pain. I'm also not sure what medicines he's on. But I can suggest to you, because I'm not a doctor, and please do your own research, is to look into teasel root. It's good for back pain, hip pain, and knee pain. Thank you very much, guys, for the gifts. I really appreciate that. But yeah, look into teasel root. It's Teasel root. Um, and it helps with nerve pain also. Hey, I love production. I love production. How you doing? Teasel root. Yes. Yes. It's good for nerve pain also. If it's more of a non-nerve pain, you might want to look at devil's claw. Um, that can help back pain too. Just bought like 15 herbs? Yay! Good for you. I just made an order too. Uh, it was a big order. Um, Off of Etsy. And I love it because the one company, Awaken Relaxation, I order quite a bit from them and they actually give me a 30% off discount. So, and they always give free shipping. So, guys, the links are in my bio. I don't get anything off of that in any way. It's just I feel their herbs are good. They have free shipping, and they will send you a discount code if you order from them. Same way with Grassroots Healing, that's also linked. Good, beautiful night. Well, thank you, Lindsay. Are you feeling a little bit better? Okay. Want to see what I got? Yeah, I want you to tell me what you got. Do you have enough followers you can come on live with me? I can invite you. I think I'd have to add you as a friend first. You do? You want to go live with me? What are your thoughts on sea moss? I love sea moss. I use sea moss in my mineral blend. It has a lot of minerals, all the minerals that our body needs. It removes excess mucus from your body. It's great. Leg cramps. Well, you want to make sure you're hydrated. You also want to make sure that, there's some things that work and there's something, for one person and it doesn't work for another. Magnesium's really good with that. Low on a lot of your minerals, magnesium, potassium. Sea moss might be a thing for you. Actually, and burdock, it also has a lot of. You found some people on Etsy that are in Canada. Good. I'm glad. Oh, I'm sorry you're still hurting and aching there, Lindsay. Can I use dried dandelion and dried goldenrod? Sure. Most definitely you can use dandelion and goldenrod for tincture making. Wonderful. All right, I sure will. Let me get through these. All right. Da 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 da. We're gonna have a guest, guys. How do I invite? Guest. Invite.
Hi.
Are you here?
Yeah, can you see me?
Hi. Yep. I don't know how to
Uh,
make the screen
don't.
bigger. Hold
That's all
on.
right.
Let me see. Let
Yeah, I
me
don't.
see if
I
I
don't.
can figure out how to do this. I'm so glad you're joining me. Thank you.
No problem. I do my own lives on YouTube as well, so I prefer YouTube over TikTok for lives. But yeah,
Really, I've never done a YouTube live. I think I
yeah,
am going to try that.
yeah. And I use a website called StreamYard, so I can bring multiple people up at a time,
Well, that's pretty
and you
cool.
can. Hold on 1 second.
Uh-huh.
I gotta. Alright, hopefully I stopped that.
Um,
I, yeah, so
Lorraine, I think I do have a video on that mineral blend. And
how
I
do I
apologize. I
huh,
don't know how to,
make it bigger?
yeah.
It's all good, but I can still show you. I got like all the herbs I got like lined up on my. My mother thinks I'm crazy, but she's like, "Why did you get all this?" But yeah, so how do I flip the camera? I
I'm still
hold on.
trying to
There you go.
figure. Any guests on her, any people watching know how I can make this a side by side screen so that everybody
Uh,
can see her better?
my video. Uh, oh,
Effects, enhance, shape. No, I don't want that.
maybe modify. Uh,
Let's see. Is that under more?
no, I don't know if you have to try to figure out the adjustment or
Whoops. Let's see. Lighting, Q&A, no. Text pull, quick pull, drawing guess. No.
tools.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Uh,
in right now.
green screen background.
Let's see.
Enhance.
Settings, moderators, rankings, blocked accounts. Wow, this is kind of a bummer drag. Let's see. Effects, music, voice effects, enhance. No, we already tried that.
Settings.
Enhance effects. Let's see. No
Feedback.
tools there.
Disconnect. No, I don't want to disconnect. Features. My device. Host cut off. One gift. No. Other.
Bummer.
Your feed.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I looked in settings and it's not giving me any options. It just says comment settings, moderators, rankings, muted accounts, blocked accounts.
What happens if you hold hold the screen to see? Maybe you get other settings if you hold the screen.
It just tells me to send this live to other people.
Eh, alright. I'm usually good at this stuff too, but
Yeah, I usually can figure it out. Tips. No, that's not what I want. Interact. Let's see. Interact. No. No. Well, bummer.
that's not what
I
I was
don't
trying to
know.
do. Anyway, I can still show you the best I can. So yeah, I got a bunch of little baggies.
Yeah, it
So I
doesn't give
got
me that option, Lorraine, to do split screen.
and I don't see any way to do that. And then I love production. I can't see your phone with it turned around. It's just your actual profile pic.
Alright, maybe it won't let me do it that way then. Let's see. Why can't I get that back on?
Yeah, I don't think I wanted to flip my camera. I don't want a mirror. Live settings.
Am I back on?
No.
What did I do?
Yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm
What
at a
did I
loss.
do? Save. There I am.
Hey, oh, we lost you again.
Hold on. I think I know what to do. Save. There we go.
There you go. All right, let's see
So
what you
I got,
got.
so I got yellow duck,
Nice.
Jamaican sarsaparilla,
Nice.
uh, uh, I
Thank you,
yeah,
Lorraine.
burdock root,
Not very
burdock,
good. That's great.
bladderwrack.
I love bladderwrack. That's a very good what
Give
is
me
it?
one
Not
second. Hey
CLG.
Kirk, can you take that out of the oven? I got food in the oven. Let's get my brother to get it. um, but yeah, so red clover,
Nice. That's a good female herb. Lots of benefits for that with that fruit with
um,
females.
or Oregon grape.
I love Oregon grape. That's good for your gallbladder too.
Yeah, Mullins.
Good.
Some of these I've had, and then let's see, the Oregon grape is a new one for me. The I got Euro, which is a new one for me to try.
Yarrow
Got
is good.
Mick
It's also
Thistle
yarrow is
because
also good to stop bleeding. That's a good one.
Euro, yeah, yeah.
Skin. Yeah.
I know when I was looking up for like when I was having the heavy flow, I saw Euro come up a bunch of times. So I was like, you know what? Let me grab some.
Yeah.
I probably should have got less to start with just to try it, but you know, I got a little carried away. I got milk thistle seed.
That's good.
The
Milk
seed.
thistle seed's a good thing to get.
Yeah.
Now, is it powder
Uh,
or is it the actual seed?
actual seed.
So you may want, when you tincture them, you'll want to crush them up. Just break
Right.
them up a little bit, not a lot. You wouldn't have to, or you could powder them. You could put them in a coffee grinder or something like that.
Right. Um, can it also be? Can the milk thistle also be put in a tea form? Because
Yes, if you,
I'm on the fence when it comes to the tinctures at the moment. So like my go-to right now is I've been putting herbs together as a tea, and
hmm
then like just have enough for a couple of days, um, just so I have it, you know, so I can work with myself a little bit at a
no,
time.
I understand. No, I completely
Yeah,
understand. And yes, you can use them as a tea, but again, because the seeds and they're enclosed, you would want
yeah,
to make sure that if you have a
grind up.
pestle mortal or mortal and pestle, however you want to pronounce which way, you
Yeah,
just
I
want to
got
break
a
them up a little bit.
coffee grinder would do, or
Yep, yep.
yes,
And then you just
I
want to
bought
put
one
them in a tea.
specifically. Cause like even like the sarsaparilla root is actually the root. First time I got it, it was a powder. This time they had it as the actual root. So I'm thinking some of these I might grind down. Um, Again, I think I said Mullins, but I got Mullins. I'm trying to tell my mother that
Yeah, I'm
the
telling you.
Mullins and I did the Bladderwreck and the Mullins. They both help with asthma.
Bladderwrack and Mullein. Yes, yes. Bladderwrack
So,
also
cause
has a lot of good minerals in it too.
yeah, no, and what else did I get? I got more nettle leaf. So I got the stuff for the liver
Mm-hmm.
support.
Yes.
But I was and I had some of this already. I like I said, the Oregon grape was the new one that I got. I also got beetroot powder.
Ooh, it's good
Um,
for your blood and heart health.
yeah, I got actual elderberries, dehydrated elderberries.
Do you plan on
Um,
making yourself some elderberry syrup?
I actually have. There's a farm I'm in Massachusetts. There's a farm called Friendly Farm. I think that's what they call, and they
Mm-hmm.
actually make a turmeric elderberry infused honey. They have three different honeys that they infuse. I think one's elderberry and turmeric, a ginger one, and I think they have one that's just the turmeric with the honey.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out about them at a they were doing like a local um organic festival a few years ago, and they were set up, and you see the
She does.
honey, the you see the city bees like coming and wanting to take a
Right.
pool, a dip into the samples. Like
Yeah.
she she literally like you see I'm like I go, that's how you know it's real honey. That's how you
Right.
know like they're not playing around. If the bees are going, hey, can I have some? Can I take a
Yep,
little dip in?
exactly.
You know,
Well, good. Yeah,
another.
the infused honeys are a good thing. I infuse.
Yeah,
A friend of mine she raises her own bees. She's a beekeeper, and
yeah,
so I get my honey from her. And I use turmeric root, fresh turmeric root, fresh ginger
yeah.
root, cinnamon, clove, and a little bit of cayenne pepper, and I infuse that into my raw,
Yeah.
unfiltered honey, and I love it. I love it. I
So
love it. I love it.
yeah.
But
One other one.
because I actually use the raw roots and herbs, mine has to
Yeah.
go in the refrigerator. Now, if you use dried, you wouldn't have to put those in the
Yeah, all
refrigerator.
these are all these are dried. Let's see, what else did I get? I got where is it? Irish moss. I don't think it was sea moss, but it says Irish moss, and
Nope,
it's all chopped up,
nope,
and it's all
it's actually Irish sea moss. So yeah, it is
Irish.
sea
Yeah,
moss.
yeah, and it's all kind of chopped up, so it's not the type that I would think I can make a gel out of, or can I still make a gel out of the dry one? Cause
I've
like
never
it's
made
all
a
like
gel.
yeah,
You can. I believe you have to boil it and all that stuff. I've never done that. I use
yeah,
mine in a tincture or a tea.
yeah,
It doesn't taste
right.
good as a tea, in my opinion.
Yeah, I
That's
know. I
why I
found
tincture
that.
it.
Yeah, no, I even found the hard way. I got Casa Sagrada, and I found out the hard way that I don't want that in a smoothie.
Yeah,
I made a melon smoothie, and I threw like literally just a pinch of the Casa Sagrada, and I'm going, I think one of the fruits are bad. So I threw it out, made another one, and put another pinch, and I'm like, I think it's the herb.
yeah.
I'm like,
There's just some herbs you can't cover up their taste. So I prefer to tincture those because,
yeah,
put it in and just you can chug them or whatever. I've gotten to the point
yeah,
to where I'm used to them in my coffee. When I have a cup of coffee and I don't have my tinctures in it, then I'm
yeah,
like, this doesn't taste right.
yeah.
But well,
No,
you did good.
I
You have
did.
a lot of good looking
Yeah,
herbs there. I'm excited for you.
yeah. I mean, I got a couple other things. Like I got this sarsaparilla root that I got online. I don't like. I don't. I got it off of Amazon. I'm hoping that it's what it says it is, because I know Amazon is a little iffy when it comes to getting certain things. I
Hi,
also
Victoria.
have this sea moss that I've used for a while. I don't think this is Irish sea moss because this one's from. I believe this one comes from the islands. So I think it's not Jamaican but the Caribbean sea
Mm-hmm.
moss versus
Well, that's
the
okay. I mean,
other one. Yeah,
it's just where it's coming from. CMOS
yeah,
would have the majority same like kind of properties, maybe not exact, but yeah. But Lorraine,
right.
yeah,
No,
CMOS. I wanted to
and this is
answer
the.
Lorraine's question
Go ahead.
here. Lorraine, it's really, very easy to do the tincture with CMOS, same way that we're going to be doing the one here in a minute. So, yeah, you can do the tincture with the CMOS.
Now I don't drink, so as far as making the tinctures with like the vodka,
Hmm.
does that like I said, I don't drink, so I don't know how vodka like on your tongue or whatever, like or when you mix it with something, um,
Hmm.
how it reacts. Because I bought this ashwagandha tincture at Whole Foods. Oh, there it
Uh-huh.
is. And I took the first drop the other day under my tongue, and that almost numbed my tongue. And I'm like,
Now,
okay, and
okay,
it burned. So I don't know if that was the alcohol, if that was the way they mixed it.
well, if you could look on the back there and look on the ingredients and tell me if it has
Yeah,
alcohol in it.
let's see.
So, Lindsay, you're trying the catnip tea.
Certified organic.
I enjoy catnip
Can
tea.
you,
I just
Kurt?
strained
Can you
mine the
read
other
this?
day, my tincture.
The ingredient list.
Yeah, I really enjoy the
We're
catnip tea. The tea itself, it's soothing, it's relaxing.
certified
I
organic
enjoy it,
cane alcohol
especially
and,
it
Cane
does have
alcohol.
that.
and distilled water.
He said certified
Organic
organic,
cane alcohol, and there's even a
And
percentage
water.
there, 61 to 71%.
71%, and that's it. And then the ashwagandha
And distilled water.
distilled water.
And it's
Okay, so
gluten
your
free.
distilled water. Okay, so the ashwagandha tincture that you have there is in
Yeah.
fact a tincture. The 71% is the alcohol content. And then when they
Yeah.
make alcohol, it also has distilled water in it. So that's where you're getting the
Right.
distilled water and the
Yeah.
alcohol. So when you put it under your tongue, that is sublingually putting it in. So you're going
Yeah.
straight to the blood. Whereas if you were
Right.
to drink it in something, it's going to have to go through your digestive system. When you put
Right.
it under your tongue, it is stronger. It kind of like
Okay.
burns a little bit.
Yeah,
So you
it
could
did.
put it, okay, so you could put it in a glass of water and drink it. You could put it in your tea. You could
Yeah.
put it in your tea and take it. So yeah, you don't have to put it under your tongue.
Right. No, I did. The only reason why I did it that way is because I was once in a while I'll get CBD oil and that I know they say to put it on. So I thought, okay, do the same thing, and my tongue was like, "What the heck did you just do?" And I don't know if I had a reaction from that, but then the last 2 days I've had um, back pain on my right side
Patricia,
near my ribs, and I don't know if that was my kidneys reacting to it or what was if a reaction. I could just be a muscle spasm for all I know, but because I know I do have diabetes and I do have other things going on that I go. Could it be that my kidney is reacting because of the location of the pain?
mhm.
Um,
Well,
and so
I
like
don't
even
know. I don't
yeah,
know, and I don't know the extent of your other things that you said that you were dealing with. But
right, like yeah,
in my experience, usually when you have a reaction to a tincture, It's not a long-term thing. The
Right. And
ashwagandha,
I,
because you just read there that it only has ashwagandha. So
yeah.
this is probably what I would do. I would take that tincture and I put a little bit on my skin and see if you're having allergic reaction to it.
Right.
And
Right.
if you're not, then I couldn't imagine how just a little bit under your tongue would cause that, though. But we
Yeah.
need to get started on our burdock tincture. Um, I'm going to
Alrighty.
do a tincture real quick. Do you want to stay on live while we do that, or
Sure. If I have to,
okay?
I'll mute and talk to whoever I have to talk to. So,
Okay, great. So let's
yeah.
take a look
And
here. So, Lindsay, I'm making a burdock root tincture. It's something that I wasn't planning on doing, but I actually had somebody that needed some stuff today, and I realized I'm really running short on a lot of my stuff. And I wanted to say hello, Patricia. How are you? Thanks for joining. Well, thank you. You guys are always so sweet to me. So I'm going to lower you guys down a little bit. And, okay, guys, the majority of your dried herbs, the majority, this is going to how you're going to do them. Burdock root, it's dried. I did not grow this. And it still has a very strong smell to it. It smells like dirt with a little bit of. You guys ever been out in the woods when it's been raining or you found a damp piece of tree limb or something that's fallen off a tree and you've ever smelled that? That's what it kind of smells like. This is a pint jar, so we're going to add the burdock root. There are measuring lines on this jar. So we are going to see where we're at here. Lighting is not good in here. About at 1.5 cups. I'm going to put a little bit less out of there. All right. So it's basically halfway, 1 cup. Okay. Like I said, I don't have a lot of alcohol. And I hope when I go tomorrow, it's a different cashier. She's going to think I got an addiction to alcohol or something. So we're going to. Yeah, I might not have to buy any more for this specific one. But yeah, what's the next thing we do? We debubble. So we're going to debubble. We're just going to move those herbs around just so we can make sure that all of them have touched that alcohol. Now, of course, I'm going to shake this all the time. All right, press and seal on the baby. So we're going to mix it up a little bit here. Guys, I always turn my tinctures upside down after I shake them and mix them up just to make sure there's nothing that could be left out of the alcohol. Because if it has too much air to it and it's not totally soaking up some type of alcohol in here, you could get some bacteria. But we're good. Need to label this. Burdock root. I'm going to have to go to labels now because I reuse my lids. You can't reuse them on canning, but I don't throw away, and I use them for my tinctures. Those little suckers can get, you know, expensive. Is there a book out there that gives you what alcohol proof to use on all herbs and dried? So that gives you what proof of alcohol? This one does. You guys want to take a screenshot? In here, let me answer Brandy's question here. And I have it bookmarked. Yeah. It actually gives you, so you can see there, it gives you plantain, and it says you want at least 45 to, at the minimum, 45 to 53% of alcohol in there. So that's why, and there are some that need less, which are usually some marshmallow. You know how I tell you guys marshmallow, you want to use that cold licorice. So on alcohol, you want a lower content alcohol. They're more pulling out with water. That's why you need to do a double extraction on some herbs because you want a lower alcohol content. So I want to just get on here. So somebody had asked about doing a tincture. This is your basics. If you go 50%, 100 proof alcohol, you're getting 50% of your alcohol content out of that vodka. You're also getting 50% water. So you're getting the best of both worlds. So you're going to be able to have the water to pull out those water soluble medicinal properties, and you're going to have the 50% alcohol to pull out the rest.
So you mix the alcohol and the water?
Lindsay wanted me to tell you that they think I'm amazing. That's what they wanted. My head's like
So,
this big now.
so we,
I'm sorry, I love production. What?
so what you said 50% alcohol, 50% water.
So
Is
when
that
you buy,
water content coming out of the dry herbs?
okay, so when you
Or,
make a tincture using alcohol,
right,
I use 100 proof
right.
vodka. Now, if you look on here, it says, it's not going to show it. Do you see where it says right here? I can't have my finger there. Hold on, it's trying not to. What? There we go. Do you see where it says 50% alcohol by volume? Right at the bottom there, the last line.
Kinda, yeah.
So when they make alcohol, they have to use water. They use distilled water.
Okay,
So 100 proof is 100 proof percent, excuse me, 100 proof is 50% water. It's 50% alcohol, ethanol.
alcohol, okay.
So
Right.
when you have an herb like this, you need the alcohol to pull it out. And like I just showed in that book, some herbs need, at least 50%, some need lower. So this is safe, 100% safe, because you're going to have 50% of your alcohol and you're going to have 50% of your water. So you're having water
Right.
and alcohol in there. Now,
All
if
right.
it's something like marshmallow, though, it doesn't need that high percent of alcohol. You would
Right.
use more water
All
and a
right. And
lower
for the
alcohol
and for
content.
those that don't, for whatever reason, can't use alcohol. I know I ask when I come in your stream. It's just for the new people too, and for me to remember. um, I know you said food grade glycerin,
Yep,
right?
right here.
Or the apple cider vinegar is another way to go about it. Now with the non-alcoholic, would you say the veggie glycerin is the stronger bet as far as pulling the properties you're trying to get out of the herb, or would you say the apple cider vinegar would be like a stronger
I would
pull?
say the food grade glycerin.
Okay.
How long does a
And
product tincture need to sit? 6 weeks. Patricia, you'd want it to sit 6 weeks.
and when you're doing like either the veggie or the apple cider vinegar, what would you say the ratio of um, glycerin to water or apple cider vinegar to um, water, and should
Yep.
it be distilled water?
So if you're going to use the food grade glycerin, you want to use a 70%. So in a jar like this, okay,
Yeah,
you would use food grade glycerin to 70%. So it'd be around there. The other
right.
30% is going to be a distilled water.
Distilled water versus
Yeah.
spring water.
If you're using apple cider vinegar, you would put apple cider vinegar in that same amount and you would put honey, but it would need to be raw,
Raw.
and unprocessed, no processing at all with it.
Right.
Otherwise, you'd
And
want to add
so,
it
and what
after.
would what would that ratio be? Honey to vinegar.
70 ACV, 30 honey.
30 honey. Okay. And no water to that, just the honey and the
No,
vinegar.
you wouldn't want any water. Your apple cider vinegar already has water in it.
Okay, so yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah,
Let's see. Let's look at some questions here. Uh, would I use more herbs if the proof is only 90%? I would have to look first, Lorraine, and see what 90 proof is. We don't have 90 proof here that I know of. We have 80 and then it jumps to 100. So I'm not
is it?
sure of the percentage of ethanol in it and water. Um, and it would depend on your herb. Um, I will, if I have time this weekend, I'll type up. I will type up all the herbs. We're going to start all the herbs A through C. And I'll type this up so you can see what percentage of alcohol those herbs need, A through C. And then we'll go from there. Okay. That way you guys will have it. You can save the video.
So here's another question. I think I told you before. I like to make smoothies, and I'll throw an herb or two in there. Would it be smarter to ground down something like burdock root to a powder to put it in the smoothie, or does it matter
I
if you're
think it
just
would be better as far as enjoying it because you're not going to want those chunks in there. You know what I mean?
right?
I
Yeah,
think you would enjoy it more if you did do that. And I would probably, this is what I would do. You're going to use, let's say, dried burdock root, okay?
yeah,
It's very chunky and it's a root, so it's hard, all right? So I would probably first, before I would put it in a smoothie, I would probably make a tea out of it, okay?
okay,
That way you're using the hot water to soften your root. You're
right,
also going to have water from your tea that you
right,
can use in your smoothie. And these are going to be soft, so they're going to grind up easier
right.
when you make your smoothie. Now, you
And
wouldn't
from
have to add these. You could just do the
right,
water,
right,
but you could let your tea sit. You know, let's say you do it an hour before you're going to make your smoothie. That way, it's
right.
had enough time to pull all that out and just use that water in your smoothie, and you don't have to use the burdock itself. That's what I would do.
Yeah. So I want to ask the veggie glycerin. Would you drink like the vodka?
Yes, you would take it after it's finished. You would take it just like you would a tincture, a vodka tincture. Um, Now I make glycerin because when you use the vegetable glycerin, that's called a glycerite. It's not a tincture. Tincture's alcohol. So I make glycerites for my granddaughters a lot because it's just sweeter. I can add flavor to it. Um, and they're more willing to take it. So yeah, you just take it the same way. Now, it's not as potent as an alcohol tincture because alcohol is what really pulls it out. Food grade glycerin does have the ability to pull out those properties, but not as strongly as alcohol does. So you kind of have to double up your dosage.
When you're
Whereas with
doing
the
it, when you're doing the herbs as a tea, is it even less of a pull of the properties?
yes,
Or, uh,
normally,
it's
especially
a,
like a root,
yeah,
especially a root. Now, if it was a marshmallow, um,
yeah,
or a mullein, they love water. They
right.
love water. So a tea, you are going to get a lot of that out.
So
Um,
even if you like keep it overnight or a couple of days, soaking the herbs soaking in the water, and obviously starting with
it would
warm
be a
water
very
to pull
you would have
out.
a powerful water. Yeah, you would have a powerful water.
All right, because that's
Um,
what I've done the last couple of times. I put a
mhm,
bunch of different herbs in together, burdock and sarsaparilla, yellow dog, a couple others,
mhm.
and I made, I used the mason jar, let it steep for a good half hour. Sometimes
Hi,
even leaving
Michelle.
it overnight. Sometimes even leaving it overnight to get as much out of it as I
Yep,
can. And sometimes I'll even refill when I get halfway down, just to try to get as much out of the herb before
yep,
letting it go and or whatever. So
yep. Some of and Lindsay, you're right. You know, a cold tea is good. Some herbs want a cold tea. Um, wow, I don't know what. Hold on one second. I just hit something with my elbow and it's gone nuts. Um, yeah, you can. Yep, you'd want to refrigerate it. You know, you just don't want it sitting out. But cold brew is good. Some herbs prefer that cold extraction. Anything with mucilage in it. So your marshmallow, your mullein, your slippery elm, you know, those things like the cold extraction. Um,
versus
but there are
right,
some
gotcha.
herbs that need the heat. Roots, for example, any most roots because they're hard. Let's think about this. Let's
Right.
think through it, you know. It's a root, so it is going to need that heat to penetrate it. So usually roots you have to do a decoction if you're not going to use an alcohol. And a decoction is basically pan of water, throwing your roots in there and letting them simmer for hours.
So
Okay,
let's
hold
say
on
you
one second
say
here. So the alcohol sort of acts like an energizer for the tincture. Yeah. A tincture made with alcohol, once you strain it, and if you bottle it in an amber vessel, 10 years, 5 years, it's alcohol. So it's going to last. It's going to last longer than ACV, and it's going to last longer than your glycerite. Your glycerite's probably only going to last a year, and your apple cider vinegar, maybe a year, a little bit over. But your alcohol tinctures are going to last for years, years and years. There's more benefit to the alcohol tincture um, than not, honestly, unless you are a recovering alcoholic or something, you have an allergy to alcohol. or something like
Right.
that. Again, you don't have to put a tincture under your tongue. I don't. You can add it to hot tea. And if your water is hot enough, it's going to burn off a little bit of that alcohol, but it's going to keep all that medicine in there. So you're not
Right.
losing the medicine, you're just getting rid of the alcohol.
Right. And you say, I mean, I know you use vodka, but you said there's other alcohols you can use as well, right? Like bourbon
Yeah,
or
you just don't want a flavored like they have some vodkas that are cotton candy flavor or cherry
right.
flavor. You don't, those
You want the straight, like
flavorings
it.
could possibly be artificial. And the point of a tincture is for it to be 100% natural and organic. So
Right.
you wouldn't
So,
want
like
artificial flavorings in there.
or or like if you're using a different not flavor alcohol, but like something besides vodka, a bourbon
Oh yeah, you can use
or
brandy. You can, as long as your
uh,
proof is high enough, like your percentage,
right,
you know, over 80% is usually what I like to go with. But that's my preference.
right,
A lot of creators that I see out here, they use 80 proof, and that's fine for them. I mean,
right,
that's great. I just feel the way I was taught, I feel the higher the alcohol, the stronger your medicine because
right,
it has the higher proof to pull it out.
right.
But that's just my opinion. I'm not saying anybody else is wrong.
No, I get
Lindsay
it.
is saying, why use apple cider vinegar? Well, apple cider vinegar can be used as a menstruum. So the menstruum is the liquid that you are using to make your medicine. So you can use alcohol as your menstruum, you can use food grade glycerin as your menstruum, or you can use apple cider vinegar for your menstruum. Apple cider vinegar, the acidity in the apple cider vinegar, along with adding honey to it, that is called an oxymel. An oxymel can be used to make medicine. So you use the apple cider vinegar, you use the honey and the herbs, and you let that sit for 6 weeks. You strain it, and you've got yourself some medicine. It doesn't pull out the medicinal properties as strongly as an alcohol tincture would, but you can do it. That's an option for some people if they would want to do that.
And if you would it matter to let it sit longer than 6 weeks to pull out any more, or would that make a difference?
Um, no, I mean, some people 6 to 8 weeks, any further than 8 weeks. I mean, some people say, well, it's going to be really strong, but you only have so much.
That you pull out.
So let's say, each little root that is chopped
Yeah.
up in here only has so much medicine in it.
Right.
So once you get to that 6 to 8 weeks, there's really no more medicine to be pulled out
Right.
unless you added more root to it. But then you're going to have to wait more weeks. You know what I'm saying? So if you leave this untouched, you shake it as you're supposed to. Some people uh, use this in 4 weeks. I follow a creator on here. I res- he's a smart guy. I respect his processes. He's a really good herbalist. He has a ton of knowledge, but he only does his for 4 weeks, and that's fine. Everybody has their own thing. So if I was in an emergency, not emergency, but let's just say, man, I need some burdock right now. My family member calls me in 4 weeks and says, Angie, I need some burdock. I would go ahead and strain it and they could use it. Would it be as strong
Yeah.
as, in my opinion, if I waited another 2 weeks? Maybe. I've
Right.
strained them at 5, but I just say 6.
Yeah.
When do you harvest the burdock? You want to harvest burdock is, let me make sure I'm thinking of the right. I always get the mullein and the burdock mixed up. Burdock is
Uh,
a biennial. So you want to harvest your burdock either at the end of its first year or the beginning of its second year, because you don't want it to bolt and seed. Because once it gets to that moment that it's bolting mean that stalk come up and the seeds are appearing. So once it gets to bolting and seeding, the plant is taking everything, all the energy from itself and putting it, it's just nature's course. That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to seed, and those seeds are supposed to go out to the wind and spread. That's what the plant's supposed to do. So when it gets to that point of bolting and seeding, all the energy, all the medicine is going from the roots and the leaves, and it's going into the seeds so that it can die, basically. So you always want to catch it before it does that. Okay.
Alright, I think I gotta jump off. My phone's at like 7%. So,
Okay. Thanks for joining a Love Production. It was good seeing you.
appreciate you letting me
Yes, you
come
had
up as
great
well.
questions. I love your herbs.
Alright,
You're doing great. You really are.
thank
Thank you
you.
for joining.
And I usually do late streams, but maybe I'll do an early stream sometime on YouTube, and I'll tag you, and if you feel like coming up,
Yeah,
you can come up.
please. Yeah. Yeah, I'd like. Are you the same name on YouTube?
Yeah, I love productions.
All right, I'll add you. That way I can keep an eye
Uh,
out for you.
and my name's April, by the way.
Hi, April. I'm
April
Angie.
Love, April Love, as in
Oh,
a
okay.
love. So y'all have a
All
good
right.
one. Appreciate
You
y'all. I'll
too.
see you in the next one.
All right. Stay
Bye.
healthy.
Peace.
See you later.
Guys have a wonderful evening. I hope I shared something of some good for you guys. Um, we'll do more this weekend. Good night, everyone. Stay healthy.